around the matchups between Reese and Clark, and Angel Reese is still going after Caitlin Clark in the aftermath.
Everyone in the arena had to know this foul was coming. As soon as you saw Angel Reese wide open, you knew that Caitlin Clark was going to come in and take that foul.
I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate. So where was this type of reaction last year when Angel Reese got chokeslammed by Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun? Y'all remember that? She got fouled so hard, they kicked Aaliyah Thomas out the game with a flagrant 2 foul. What did Angel Reese do? Nothing. She didn't get up and try to swing on her. You know why? The reaction was different because of who did it.
Okay, so that was the post RG3 made the other day following the incident between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark after a hard flagrant foul. RG3's video went pretty viral on social media, and while some were applauding his take, there were a lot of other people who were quite critical. Honestly, I don't know why people were going at him when he said that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. I get it that he's part of the media and stoking the flames and creating all this division, but when you look at the context of what he said about Angel Reese hating Caitlin Clark, is there really any shock? The media has pitted these two against one another since college and all the way into their rookie season last year. On top of that, they pretty much made Caitlin the face of the WNBA last season, so it's not surprising if you're Angel Reese to feel a certain way, especially if she feels she's on par or even better than Caitlin. Basically, everyone on social media just built up this rivalry between the two women, so you're gonna have that extra energy anytime you go up against one another. But then there's also the racial element that's also present, largely pushed by those same people. At the end of the day, no one besides Angel Reese knows why she has that extra motivation when playing against Caitlin Clark. That being said, Ryan Clark on his Pivot podcast reacted to RG3, and you gotta listen to what he said because a lot of fans have reacted to this and are calling for him to be fired from ESPN.
We moved in to being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story.
Right.
The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. Now, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what Black women deal with a lot from Black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with, over black women by denigrating black women. I feel like we should have an opportunity to move past that and understand that Angel Reese can be great in her own right, as Caitlin Clark is as well. Caitlin Clark is a likable and lovable superstar. She pays homage to the stars of the past. She pays homage to the black women that have come before her. And now she is carrying the mantle forward. So there's no need to pin those two against each other and paint them based on stereotypical tropes. And I think this is what I'd like RG3 to know, that no matter how much he continues to echo the microaggressions of racists, he'll be no less black than me.
Okay, for what it's worth, RG3 was raised by his parents, one of whom is his black mother, who's also in the military. So I don't know what Ryan Clark is trying to imply, that just because he isn't married to a black woman, RG3 wouldn't know the experiences or struggles that some black women face. So I guess that means half the people on social media commenting on this should sit this one out, because they're probably young adults who are unmarried. I don't know, this just sounds like a weird take from RC. That said, I also personally felt that it was a bit strange that Ryan Clark decided to bring RG3's family into this mess, talking about his wife and kids. I just don't think there are some lines you should cross, and for me, that's family. Anyways, what do you all think about what Ryan Clark said, and did you think he crossed the line with RG3 by dragging his family into this?